The lair was burning long before anyone noticed the smoke because the world it rested on had learned to hide its pain. It was a red planet with shallow seas and forests that grew like claws, reaching for the sky, and in those forests lived the predators that every traveler feared and every survey guild warned against. They were called many things by many tongues, but among themselves they had no word for monster or beast, because to them they were simply people. The lair lay beneath a ridge of black stone, warmed by the planet core and layered with old nests and newer chambers where heat and shadow made a safe cradle for young'un. The morning the fire came, a human named Lyra was there, not as a hunter or soldier, but as a caretaker. She had arrived months earlier with a research convoy that wanted data and trophies and stories to sell. Yet she stayed behind when the convoy left because she saw the cubs, 5 of them, barely able to walk, with eyes too large for their heads and soft down where scales would one day harden. Their mother had been wounded by a rock slide during a storm and did not rise again. Ria stayed because leaving felt like choosing silence over breath. She learned their sounds and the rhythm of their feeding and how their claws gripped her sleeves when they slept. The predators watched from the trees at first, their eyes reflecting firelight at night, their bodies still and judging no challenge. Came perhaps they sensed the truth of her presence, or perhaps they were curious about a soft-skinned creature who sang low songs while cleaning wounds and sharing warmth. Time moved, the cubs grew heavier, Lyra grew thinner. Shy traded ration packs for local roots and learned which leaves soothed burns and which bark dulled pain. When the dry season arrived, it came harsher than the elders remembered. Lightning tore the sky and set the forests alight. Wind pushed the flames toward the ridge. Lyra smelled smoke before she saw it and felt heat before the alarm she carried could wake her. She ran to the entrance and saw the fire racing like a living thing. The predators howled warnings across the canopy and their calls shook ash from the leaves. Lyra did not hesitate. She wrapped the cubs in woven cloth soaked from the spring and lifted them one by one. They cried in fear and clung to her neck and shoulders and arms until she staggered under their combined weight. The lair, filled with smoke heat, pressed in like a handstone's cracked. Lyra covered her face and moved forward, guided by memory and instinct. Outside, the world had turned to night, made of flame. Trees burned like torches. The ridge glowed. Predators emerged from the forest, their forms massive and scarred, their eyes fixed on the human carrying their future. For a moment no one moved, then the elders stepped aside, creating a path through fire and ash. Lyra ran. Her lungs burned and her legs shook and her vision blurred, yet she did not slow. She felt claws dig into her back and shoulders, not in attack but in terror. A burning branch fell behind her. The ground trembled as the lair collapsed in on itself, sealing the past under stone and flame. The edge of the clearing where the fire broke against a stream, Lyra fell to her knees and lowered the cubs into the water. Steam rose. The cubs gasped, then calmed, their cries fading into shivers. Slumped forward, her strength gone. She did not see the elders approach. She felt only the cool of the stream and the pounding of her heart. When she woke, the fire had passed, leaving a scar across the land. The predators stood around her in a wide circle. No weapons were raised, no teeth were bared. The eldest stepped forward, a massive figure with eyes like old embers. It bowed its head. Lyra tried to sit up and failed. Claws lifted her and carried her to a shaded place where leaves still breathed green. The cubs were there, curled together, alive. Days passed. Lyra healed slowly under watchful eyes. Food was placed beside her. Water brought. No cage, no chains. When she was strong enough, she stood and faced the elders. She expected anger or demand or judgment. Instead, she was shown the valley beyond the burned ridge, where new dens were being carved. The future was being built. When the cubs approached her, they did not cling in fear. They walked with confidence, tails high and eyes bright. Lyra understood then in Deathworld, strength was not only measured by claws or fire or survival odds. Sometimes strength was the choice to carry what could not carry itself. When the next human ship arrived months later, they found no lair to burn and no predators to hunt. They found a valley guarded by watchful shapes, and a single human standing among them, welcomed as kin.